Hello tubes. Obviously, as you can tell, the intro is a little bit different than usual. It's actually because I've already shot this episode, you want to call it, or video, whatever you want to call it, but I forgot to do an intro to it. So anyway, a bit of backstory. The GT is near enough done. I need to put a cage in it, probably up the boost a bit, maybe put an LSD in, but generally as a project it's near enough done. So I've got a bit of a hankering to get another project, and I'll say the word project quite a lot in this. The idea was to get a myeslf or something and put a MX-5 turbocharged engine in it and make a sort of drift vehicle or something like that. But then I got to thinking, and I've got projects anyway, I've got plenty of other cars, and generally stuff gets put around the side of the house and kind of forgotten about. There's two cars around there at the moment. One of them being a car I started to restore, which was my very first car anyway. Started to restore when we moved house, and that was 10 years ago, and I've had the car 22 years. Like I say, it was my first car, it was restored, we put it on the road, I used it till the GT got put on the road, which I've had that 20 years, and then I put it in a garage and left it and everything, and then when we moved, I decided, right, I'm going to restore it. Then other cars came along, and Capris and everything came along, and then the GT had its next phase, the turbo engine, or the MX-5 engine, and kind of got left to the side. So, because obviously the GT is near enough done, I've thought, right, let's get on to this project instead. So, as you'll see in this video, there is a new car to the channel, which is actually really an old car, and it was my very first car, and obviously we'll do our GFB developments kind of flair to it, and it's going to have an engine conversion, and it's going to be a bit balls out. So sit back, enjoy the reveal of the new stroke old project, and I shall see you in the next one. The place where projects come to get forgotten about. I've got to work with. Bought the car 22 years ago when I was about 16 and a half years old, ready for when I was 17. Dad restored it with a little bit of help from a very young me, and generally not knowing what I was doing, and used it until I got the B and started restoring the B 3 years later, and then I started restoring it over 10 years ago and left it outside for a while. Poor thing. But we're thinking wide arch kit like what's on the B, ridiculous. Mazda MX-5 engine with a supercharger or turbo, not too fussed which. Rust, none of this. So we're going to have to be done. Some of these jobs I did like 10 years ago. MGB GT back axle, we think, which means I'm going to have to stiffen up all of the spring boxes and everything on them. If I pull this off, it'll be feckin' awesome. So stay tuned, basically, for me to pulling my hair out because of that.